when my parents would go away, I don't know why, but we would sneak in the room. I don't know why. But we had that special spatula, remember?
Yeah, you could break into their room because you had it locked.
Yeah, so this picture right here, I did not like that picture. It was in their bedroom wall. And when I went in, I don't know why they were gone. I don't know why it snuck in. But it was on the wall.
Because it was locked.
And he would look at me, and so I'd go to the other side of the room, and he would stare at me no matter where you were.
Could never get away.
He watched everything.
He was always watching.
I want to make a quick note here. It's not in my notes, but as my brothers were talking and Pam and everything, you're going to notice a thread that's the same all the way through these stories.
Yeah.
I wrote my letter or notes in Azusa, California, Dave in San Luis Obispo, Adam in Rancho Cucamonga, and Bruce and Nathan here. All the same. Nobody called each other, no one said anything to each other. All the same.
Wow.
So I'm going to bookend my brother Dave. So when he was speaking, I'm like, wow. It's easy to see what God does, right?
Wow.
Okay, so here you go. My biggest fear is upon me right now, speaking in public. You saw me singing. I love singing. That's easy for me. But speaking in public, that's not me.
You're doing good so far, bro.
Yeah. On top of that, so I'll probably cry maybe throughout. So here we go. All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. Just like the rest of the Bartholomew's. Put your glasses on. Okay. My name is Aaron Bartholomew. I'm the youngest of the Bartholomew children, technically. At least by 5 minutes, I'm the youngest. I was a surprise to my parents and to most everyone else. From what my dad told me, not even his own mother believed him when he said, "There's one more," on that glorious day, November 2nd. But here I am, honoring my dad. I think it's best to not try and be a witty writer, or elegant writer, or serious writer, because in all honesty, I'm none of these for sure. So what can I do? But I'm going to do bullet point stories of my dad. They won't be awe-inspiring, but just memories. Memories to help me grieve, to laugh, and to honor him. It's funny the things you do remember and the things you don't. Honestly, they don't make sense. But then maybe they do when you connect the dots in the end. At the age of 4 or 5, I remember Dad giving Adam and I a bath, and all of a sudden there was a big crash outside. A big branch had fallen on our car. There was Adam and I, naked as jaybirds, looking out the window thinking, "Oh, that's cool, that's exciting." Dad wasn't so excited at all with the station wagon, with the big tree on top of it. I remember Dad helping me make my Pinewood Derby car for Boys Brigade at church. I placed second place and received a small plastic little trophy. I was so proud. I remember Dad being able to fix anything and everything, and all his knots that he made. They were perfect.
Yeah.
Navy man.
He always seemed to have the solution. I remember Dad writing our names inside our jackets or on our shoes, lunchboxes, everything. How embarrassing. But if we ever lost it, it was returned. He was right. I remember driving to one of Adam's basketball games in high school. My friend Rachel was with us. We drove by a car parked on the side of the road, and a man was beating a woman. My dad spun that Impala around so fast and ran out and handcuffed that guy. The police came. Someone must have called. And that was that. My friend Rachel was terrified. But me, I was so proud of my dad taking action, protecting those who needed a voice. I loved that he was a state trooper and felt honored to ride in his car as a kid. To this day, I have no fear of the law or police, but honor them for all the stuff they have to endure.
That's right. Amen.
They truly deserve better.
Yes.
I remember when I wanted to quit playing the trumpet in the school band, but he wouldn't allow it. He said, "After the year is over, you can quit, but if you commit to the year, you have to finish the year."
That's right.
A seed of wisdom planted.
That's right. Yeah.
I remember when my brother Dave had issues with his high school basketball coach and went to Dad about it. Dad defended the coach. The lesson I learned by listening and never forgetting. Maybe the coach was in the wrong, but who cares? Respect our elders and honor those above us.
Right.
Humility.
Yeah.
I remember going fishing.
We all do.
Yep.
Dad putting on worms, taking off the fish,
Continuity.
rowing and rowing and rowing. He allowed all of us to keep casting towards the shore, catching the big one and realizing it's about his kids and the joy on our faces when we did get that big one. Sacrifice.
Right.
But even when the fish was supposed to be 13 inches and it was just a bit under, we had to throw it back. Do what's right, even when no one is watching
That's right.
or no one knows about it.
That's right.
Right.
I remember Dad, tired of all his kids using so many towels each week that Mom was having to do loads of laundry. He called us all together and said, "I'm locking up the towels," and he would give us one for the week.
I got two.
Remember?
That's all. That's where I learned that from.
Listen, honoring his wife,
Yeah,
protecting his wife,
that's right.
loving his wife. I remember Dad getting up early to take me to the airport after my visits from California. We barely spoke and listened to, I believe, WWJ, is that it?
Yeah.
News radio?
Yeah.
All the way. I learned you don't always have to talk, but sometimes just be.
Yeah.
We just sit together. I remember Dad and Mom visiting every relative, even those who were the outcast. They would go to the prison, the hospital, the seedy places that no one would dare.
That's right.
But they did, bringing food to eat, gifts to use, and the love of the gospel. Relationships were built, and no judgment to be found.
That's right.
I remember Dad helping the migrant workers in Romeo with law stuff. They would come by the house, and he did what he could with what means he had. And even though no payment was expected, we would find fruits and vegetables and all other sorts of gifts left at the front door in gratitude. The best years of my dad is when he and my mom would come to California and live with me for 3 months during the cold Michigan winters. I was an adult then and saw him in a different perspective. I would pepper him with questions about his life when he was newly married. What were all the bad things he did? What were his dreams? I'm sure he tired of me, but he gladly gave his answers. He wasn't always proud of what he did, but I loved him even more for his flaws. Humanity at its worst and best.
Amen.
Knowing we need something greater than ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
I broke down the other day when talking with my mom. She told me Gary and Cecil called and shared his story about Dad taking him on a canoe trip and what that meant to him. I realized in that very instant, my dad impacted many, hundreds, even thousands. All of my dozens of co-workers, they knew Dad.
Yep.
All my student employees, hundreds of them, they knew my dad. All of my friends knew my dad. All of them. And only about 3 or 4 ever met him in person.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if you know the Son, you know the Father.
Wow. Wow.
You know that? My friend Tyler, who I've only known for about a year and a half, he's one of my student workers. He texted me yesterday, and he said, "Sorry to hear about your dad. Knowing you and Adam, I'm sure he was a great man."
Yeah.
He didn't know my dad, but he knew his sons. Are you hearing it? Are you getting the picture? Are you seeing what I'm saying?
Amen, brother.
I know a lot of people, this is where I kind of go off the cuff here, so this isn't written down, but I know a lot of people I think, well, that's not my dad, or that's not my life. But let me tell you something. My dad would sit here in church and weep every Sunday. And I weep as well. But you know what? I'm not weeping because my dad is passed, and my dad wasn't weeping because he was sad. Do you know why we were weeping? Because the good news, the gospel.
Amen.
That's why we were weeping, because we know and understand what it means in Jesus. And that's the most important thing. Let's see, I had one more thing here. Let's see. I was going to say, you can live a whole new life. You can know the Father. How? Get to know the Son. Get to know the Son.
That's right.
You won't regret it.
That's right.
To God be the glory.
Amen.
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 Amen.